What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Why? Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. Leave a comment and leave a like on every video, including this one. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Leaving a comment, leaving a like does help with the algorithm. We are trying to grow the channel. Appreciate everyone in the Go Up movement. And this story takes us once again to the Los Angeles County Jail, where a riot transpired between the blacks and the Southsiders. Once again. But this time I must say that this is one of my biggest regrets of all time, not handling this situation different. I must throw myself upon the sword and admit that from the very beginning. Because there in the Los Angeles County Jail, this was in 1998, 1999, on the 3000 floor. It was the state module at the time. And the OG homie from Hoover was there. And yes, it is true. In the past, the Hoovers have been known for having a couple of bandits, a couple of big bubbles amongst them. So has other groups, other factions, other gangs. I know of big bubbles from everywhere that likes to prey on boys behind bars. Some of them preying on boys, and it's consensual between the two, so I guess it's not preying on them. And others are just preying upon them. This is a subject that people don't like to discuss. People don't like to talk about Big Bubba there in the prison system. They like to pretend that he does not exist. But this is just pretending, because he does. Again, he is not on a level 4 yard out in the open. It's not going to happen. They're going to get rid of him. But he lurks undercover oftentimes, and he's on these lower level yards, trying to take advantage of unsuspecting, unknowing youngsters, oftentimes it is, coming through the system and not understanding the politics or how to carry themselves inside of the system yet. And instead of lacing these dudes up, these dudes oftentimes take advantage, or at least they try to. And here, the OG homie was in a cell with a Southsider. Well, it was a couple of Southsiders in a cell. It was the OG homie and a dude from 20 Bloods in a cell as well. And I never knew of this particular person being a bandit. I never knew about him liking boys' cheeks. Now, I know about some. I've heard about their reputations. I've heard about some incidents that they were involved in the prison system back in the days, etc. Certain OG homies and this and that. But this guy's name had never come up in any of those conversations, not while I was there. So I had no knowledge of him being a bandit. But you just never know who you are around until you know. The homie from 20 Bloods, he's a bit older. And he's coming out and he told me one day, bro, your big homie is down there sex playing the Southsider. He's playing with him, bro. He's making comments and, asking him what size pants he wear, and he's smirking at him and all this. He's sex playing him, bro. And the Southsider was a young dude, real young. He was like 19, but he wasn't going for it. This is according to 20s. He like, man, the Southsider, he ain't going for it, bro. He recognizes what this dude is doing. His people done laced him up or whatever. He probably has never been in prison before, but he recognizes when someone is trying to groom him or play with him in that way. And he's asked your OG homie to stop playing with him like that, not to get at him like that anymore. And he's done it again. He said, so I'm just letting you know, bro. So I'm like, all right, man. Oh, my goodness. Now, in the cell with me was a non-affiliate and an older dude from 18th Street. Now, he was real older, and he had been in and out of prison all of his life. And he used to be in there lacing me, the 18th Street, Mexican, with a whole lot of game. Some stuff about the Southsiders, some stuff about the blacks in prison. I knew that I was heading to a level 4, or I figured I was. And this is on the trip when I ended up going to High Desert. And I did want some knowledge on, what I was looking up for, what I was looking forward to, what I would be up against heading to the level 4. And he used to lace me with all sorts of knowledge. Taught me how to make a knife, everything. 18th Street, bro. I'll never forget it. Now, of course, he caught wind also as to what was going on down there in that cell. He told me, because when 20s told me this, I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck to do. This the OG homie. You know what I'm saying? This the big homie. Like, he an OG homie, bro. That don't necessarily matter. If you right, you right. And if you wrong, you wrong. I get it. But I'm just saying, I'm 24 years old at the time. Perhaps 25. And this is, someone with a heavy reputation. So I'm not exactly sure how to handle this. I ain't been to a level 4 yet. 18th Street told me, go holler at it was an OG homie on the other side of the module from A-Trey. Big homie. Had just as much status as this dude, if not more. Certainly just as much. Had just as much rank. I know exactly who he is. And he can call this shot. 18th Street said, man, just go holler at him, so that I'm going to tell my people down there to stand down, try to get him out of the cell with him or whatever, because his people down there told him, 18th Street, what was happening. Yes, it's true. This dude is down here sex playing me. And I've asked him to stop, homie. I'm like, man, this dude's about to start a riot. He about to kick off a riot, basically. It's not that I was more concerned that it was a Southsider that he was playing with, even though that has heavier connotations. Because if, say for example, it was him and 20 Bloods and he was playing with 20 Bloods like that, then it'd just be the Hoovers got to worry about the Bloods. But since you're playing with a Southsider like this, you're putting all the blacks in a situation where they're going to have to fight and defend themselves. And they already don't like Hoovers. They're going to be pissed off. Man, we got to go up over this dude and over this because he's a bandit. Man, get a hold of y'all boy, man. Get a hold of y'all homeboy. So 18th Street telling me, man, go holler at your big homie over there. So that's what I did. I went and hollered at the big homie. And I explained to him what was going on over here on our tier. That the Southsider says that this dude is denigrating him, disparaging him, and playing him for a sucker. And he's appalled by it. And I have a sneaking suspicion that eventually he's going to make a move. 19 years old, 20 years old, or not. He's made it explicitly clear that he doesn't want to be approached in this manner anymore. The OG homie from A-Trey said, okay. We can't necessarily just take the 20s word, the Southsiders word, because when I hollered at the OG homie myself, I may have left that out. I hollered at the homie myself. I told him what was being said. He said that he was not down there playing with him like that. He said that the Southsider was being sensitive, that he would be talking to the old boy from 20, just making a remark about something, and the Southsider is taking it like he's talking to him. I wasn't sure if I was buying that because 20s himself is the one that originally told me what was going on. This was out of his own mouth. So I explained to the big homie that I did talk to the OG homie, and he denied everything. But I don't believe him. So the OG homie said, okay, fine. We're going to go holler at this dude and find out what's really going on. And if this is true, then we're going to get him out of here, even though he an OG homie. Because you've already told him, or you've already asked him if this was true, he denied it. But other people are saying, yeah, and the Southsider has asked him to stop. I guess one time the Southsider was sitting on the toilet. It's one of the things that 20s had told me. The young Southsider was sitting on the toilet, and you put a curtain up in your cell when you're sitting on the toilet so that you can have some sort of privacy with everyone that's in your cell. Even if you're in a 2-man cell in prison, you put your curtain up. Sitting there in a 6-man cell, and at this time it was actually 6 people inside of these cells in the Los Angeles County Jail, you certainly put a curtain up to have so that 5 grown men are not sitting there watching you as you're taking care of your business on the toilet. So he put a blocker up, put a curtain up, a sheet. And when he does this, the younger Southsider, the OG homie, who has big Bubba tendencies, who has a propensity, apparently, to make advances towards younger kids, younger boys, younger men behind bars. He would then get on the top bunk, or at least one of the times he got on the top bunk and was looking down at the Southsider and like smacking his teeth or something while he was right there using the bathroom, bro. He got his pants down and he's using the bathroom, taking a shit. And this dude get up there and, according to 20s and according to the Southsider, start smacking his teeth, like looking over there, then it turned his head real quick, like when the Southsider look up. And I guess the Southsider said something like, bro, what is you doing? You doing this towards me, homie? And he's like, man, what is you talking about? Ain't nobody thinking about you over there, bro. This kind of shit right here is going on. And this is why I said that this is one of my biggest regrets. Because hindsight being 2020, though I was 24 or 25 years old, and this was someone of a much heavier stature than myself, I should have took care of that. Knowing that he was jeopardizing all of the blacks that were there in the module, really, with this unsavory behavior, unbecoming of a gangster, making these sort of advances towards a younger man or any man behind those bars. That's just not happening. But I did what I thought was the right thing to do, and even what I was told to do at the time, meant just go take it to your OG homie. Because I did talk to him, and he denied everything, but I didn't believe him. Because 20s told me what was going on, and the Southsider had told OG 18th Street in my cell what was going on, and they both saying the same story. What 20s is telling me is what the Southsider was telling 18th Street. Then they're word for word. 18th Street mentioned the toilet incident, everything. The same thing that 20s had told me. So they both got the same story. The OG homie said, we're going to go over there and holler at him. Now, I had court the next day. So I told the OG homie, wait till I come back from court so that I can, when you come over there, I want to be right there in case we got to take care of business. Get rid of this guy. I still have my reservations. I was apprehensive. This is an OG homie that I know for sure. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm feeling like, man, I'm going to have to answer to the homie. Like, man, you done took off on the OG homie. You done bust on the homie. You took the Southsider's word over the OG homie. He said he wasn't doing it. And you done got off on the OG homie? What? Fuck you think you are? This is what I'm thinking, bro. I don't know. I'm not really knowing a whole lot better at this time. Again, one of my biggest regrets, because regardless, I don't give a fuck. I have to make sure everyone in here is straight, including the rest of the Hoovers that's in here. And the OG homie is not thinking about the rest of us. He's trying to satisfy his insatiable lust. He's not thinking about anyone else. He's sitting here and openly, overtly trying to groom another man from another race in front of his own people, in front of the Southsiders people. He's doing it in front of his own people, another black person. He has little to no regard for everyone else there in the module, including the rest of the Hoovers. So I should not have had any regard for him. I go to court, fighting a robbery, fighting a life sentence. And I do have this on my mind, I remember clearly, while I'm in the court tanks. Because I'm about to have to come back from court and confront this situation, confront the OG homie, and if necessary, get violent with him. And again, perhaps me myself suffered some repercussions, even though he's clearly in the wrong, because I believe this shit. I believe it fully. The way that it was told to me and told to 18th Street. As I'm in court ruminating, thinking about my next move when I get back to the module and how I'm going to confront this situation. Well, little did I know, it was too late. This is why it's a big regret. Because when I came back, I found out that it had already went up. Indeed. Because while I was there in court, once again, and we were going to take care of it that day, but that's why you can't hesitate in these sort of situations. We really could have took care of it that day, but the OG homie said we'd take care of it tomorrow. Okay, there is no tomorrow, man. When I come back from court, I come to find out that he had once again made a comment, an unsavory one, towards the Southsider. And when he did, he went and sat on the toilet himself to use the bathroom. Not long after making this comment, it was quiet in the cell as the Southsiders were in there gathering themselves, because he had the curtain up and couldn't see what was going on. However, he was someone who had been to the penitentiary many times, and he knew that if he kept on pushing these Southsiders, there was going to be something. Eventually, he had to have known that. And he carried a knife with him over there to the toilet. I'm assuming he did this every time he went and used the toilet, knowing that he was going to have his pants down and the sheet up and couldn't see what was going on outside of the toilet area. And he knew that he had been in there doing things that were unbecoming, saying things that were not something that you should say to another man that you respect. And if you respect yourself, for that matter. So he had his weapon over there with him between his legs, sitting on the floor as he had his pants down. And the Southsider, the young Southsider that he had been playing with, and the other Southsider. The other Southsider that was in the cell is the one that rushed over there first, actually. In 20s, he was in his cell, but everything happened so fast, he didn't know what was going on. They rushed over there at the OG homie, and they hit him. He had his weapon right there. He did grab it. He jumped up, naked, and started swinging back. 20s jumped down off the bunk, and they're in there going at it. The tear here was going on and it went up in a few cells. In my cell, it didn't go up because 18th Street was older, and I was in there with a non-affiliate. And it's like, it's still like a rule. That's how it's supposed to be anyway. Everyone doesn't always follow those rules, but it's supposed to be, if it's an older black, hands off. Older Southsider, hands off. We talking about old, frail, can't fight, doesn't have a chance. He's a senior citizen. The same way you're not supposed to beat or abuse an older person on the street, you're not supposed to do it in prison either, or in the Los Angeles County Jail. But again, everyone doesn't always abide by this, obviously. But inside of my cell didn't go up. In a few cells it did. But no one was really prepared for this, so there was no knife play involved in the other cells. But there was knife play involved in the very cell where everything originated from. And that was with the OG dude from Hoover. And I know I'm calling him an OG, that's what he was. Yeah, he was a G, bro. But he had Big Bubba tendencies. I came to find out later that in prison, a couple people knew about this back in the days. I heard a couple stories. I ended up hearing a couple of stories about him when I investigated some later and said, man, when I was telling the homies what happened in the county jail and who it was behind, like, man, I had never heard nothing about it. I couldn't believe it. But it was just a well-kept secret, I guess, because some people, when I was talking to them about it, they're like, yeah, no, I knew about it. We knew about it. Damn. Okay. So it went up. They got on the OG from Hoover. They hit him a couple times. They hit him in his shoulder, and they scratched him on his face. He hit one of the Southsiders in there, the younger dude, across the arm, because as I said, he had his weapon on him. 20s jumped down, and he was just squabbling. The police run down, they break everything up. Take people out of the cells, this and that, take people to medical, to the whole, what have you. I come back from court, the whole tier's a mess. Police still down there, talking to people, investigating, make sure that this person is not injured. As soon as I come back, they already telling me, as soon as I get off the bus and walk in and heading up to the 3,000 floor, they tell me, it went up in there, it went up. I'm like, it went up? Like, yeah, it went up, bro. On your tier, it went up. I'm like, man, oh, hell, I already knew what it was. I said, it was the blacks in the South Side? They said, yeah. I knew what it was when they said it was the blacks in the South Side. I knew. I knew exactly what it was. And I felt a pinch of regret because I said, man, we should have just took care of this shit yesterday. But there's a hierarchy. I'm following duties. I'm following orders. The OG homie said we'd take care of it tomorrow, then that's what it is. And he meant business. We was gonna go over there and holler at this dude, and if he was foul and in the wrong, we was gonna get him out of there. I just still feel like it should have happened before, regardless of who he was, because look what some blacks could have ended up getting hurt over this situation. That's why I'm so staunch, a stickler for the rules now, man. Because I know I've seen it too many times that if you don't take care of business, it can lead to something much bigger that jeopardizes everyone. That's it. It jeopardizes everyone. Your actions, your misdeeds, your indiscretions jeopardizes everyone in the community. These are selfish acts then, because people get hurt in these riots. So if you're committing an act that merits a riot, then you're selfish. You're thinking about yourself and not the greater good of your own brethren. This is why this person is poisoned and must be removed before it comes to the point where he endangers everyone, regardless of who he is. So that situation could have been handled different because he was in there playing with that Southsider, bro. He was. And they got tired of it. And when his ass went to the toilet, because the Southsider, he was young. He was 19. He felt like if he probably just go up, this is a grown man. If he just come at him straight, they probably know he got a weapon up in there too. They're going to catch him slipping. Wait till he went and got on the toilet, get him a little bit of an advantage. When he went and got on the toilet, they got on him. But he was pretty much ready or prepared, or always prepared when he's sitting there on the toilet. And so he had this thing with him, and and when they rushed over there and started swinging at him, he was able to grab his stuff and push him off and get up and start swinging this thing. And then it went up in a few cells right there in the county jail with the Southsiders and the blacks over this shit. It was a little melee, basically, inside of the cells. Pretty much every cell except my cell went up, or a couple other cells where it had older people, or some of the cells just had Southsiders, some of them just had blacks or whatever. And so, not every cell went up, but the cells that had a mixture with the Southsiders and blacks in there, the cells was going up. But for what? Over a bandit. Over something that should have been handled ahead of time, I must admit. And that's what happened there in the Los Angeles County Jail, man. He tried to play the Southsider. He did. He denied it. He continued to deny it. But there was proof of it. That everybody was saying it, bro. So, he was sitting there trying to groom him. Southsider wasn't going for it. Bottom line, he asked him to stop first a couple times, and after that, it didn't go up no more. They had moved him out. Like I said, some people went to medical, went to the home, switched up the cells, then moved people to different modules, this and that. And that was pretty much the end of it. However, there was, a situation where people were trying to catch up to the OG homie that had started this shit. There was a little hit out on him over this situation. You gotta be, regardless of who you are, you gotta be careful what you're doing there and who you jeopardize. That's the bottom line. I'll be back. And in the meantime, stay free, people.